Hey Jalen, how are ya?
Good, how are you?
Good. So did you guys just go see the play?
Yeah.
What did you think?
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. Entertaining?
It was
Good way to spend a Friday. Do you have any big plans this weekend?
actually, my parents are going out of town. It's gonna be me and my brother.
Really?
Yeah, today it's
Wow. So just the two of you at home?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be the big responsible brother. Okay, that's cool. Don't forget to feed him. Very important.
He feeds himself.
Okay, well, just make sure, that's all I'm saying. You're the big man of the house. So, all right. So, I'm going to go over a couple things
Okay.
about what we're going to be doing today. As you know, I am a graduate student right now getting my master's for school counseling. And so I'm doing this video of a couple of our sessions as part of my class that I'm taking right now. And the only people who are going to see the video are my professor and some of the other students that I'm in class with. And that's just so they can critique me and, tell me how I'm doing and help me become a better counselor. Obviously your face will not be in the video, so your privacy will be protected. It'll just be your voice. And along those lines, I just want to talk about confidentiality. What we talk about stays between us, except under 3 situations where I would have to break confidentiality. And that would be if I was concerned you might harm yourself, if I was concerned you might harm someone else, or if someone you brought up made me concerned that they might harm themselves or someone else. So those are the only times I would absolutely have to break confidentiality. So just so you're clear on that. So today I'm going to be asking you some questions that might seem kind of weird, and I'm going to be taking a lot of notes. And then at the end, when we're done talking, I'm going to write you a note and then ask you to write a note to me. Sound good? Awesome. All right, so it's 4th quarter. You made it through 3rd quarter. That's awesome. How are you feeling about things so far?
I feel pretty good.
Yeah?
Keep my grades up, of course. Try my hardest.
Good. That's awesome. Awesome. I know that you've definitely shown that you can do it in the past. So, okay, so with us working together for the last quarter, what would you really like to see sort of come out of this quarter, come out of like, how can I support you in this quarter? What do you think?
I mean, all the support you've been giving me, I really enjoyed and kind of got something out of it, and it's helped a lot with
Good.
me and my schoolwork. And so, honestly, I really just like the same support you've been giving me
Okay.
through the quarters.
So by when you say support, like what do you mean
Like
exactly?
encouraging me, making sure I'm on track of my schoolwork and everything else.
Great. Well, I'm so glad to hear that I'm helpful and I have candy. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question. So say tonight you went to bed, whatever problems that you see with school or coming up this quarter, and you woke up in the morning and a miracle had happened and all those problems were gone. So, a solution had occurred and you didn't have to worry about anything. What would that look like to you?
Honestly, it's a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just really nothing could be handed to you, but if something was handed to you, that'd be awesome, that'd be great. So just things being handed to me,
Okay.
just out of the blue.
It's like what kind of things?
Maybe just a study guide, or maybe just answers to a test. Maybe really not having a study, having any questions or anything just right in front of me, so I know what I'm going to be assessed or worked on.
So basically, if you had a miracle, you would know exactly what you were doing and be able to pass every test. And okay, yeah, I think that would be awesome. I would agree with you. Okay, but let's talk about when you said obviously nothing's handed to you. So say we want to get to this goal of you knowing exactly what you're doing and have all the knowledge. If you look at yourself on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being like you are absolutely clueless, no idea what to do, it's like one of those nightmares where you show up at school and you've missed the last 2 months and suddenly you have a test. And a 10 being that you know exactly what to do, 100%, totally clear, and you're going to ace this test. Where would you say you are?
Well, in general, maybe a 7.
Okay.
Some other classes I do struggle in,
Mm-hmm.
such as social studies.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, but other classes I think I'm fine in, like science,
Okay.
math, English.
So a 7 means that you pretty much know what you're doing.
Yes.
So you feel pretty confident. A 7 is great. That's almost a 10. So that's awesome. Would you say that's higher, like the highest you've ever been, or like?
I think I've been higher just because, for maybe a period of time, I really worked on it, studied a lot. So maybe at times, maybe I like a 9.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's amazing too. Like that's awesome. And I'm not surprised because I know you can do this when you choose to. So what was different when you were at 9 than now? Like what were you doing differently?
I think it was just that I was more so into the class I was learning about, the topics, the work I had to do. It was more so not necessarily entertaining, but it suited me.
Okay.
And then now it's kind of that they're giving you things that you really don't need, and it's kind of pointless.
Okay.
But in some classes, I still do well on the things that they give me, but I just feel like it's not really worth the doing.
Okay. But even though it's not worth doing, and you've obviously struggled with that before, you are actually doing it.
Yeah.
So what is it that gets you to make that choice?
Just a topic, because usually I'm not into something, I'm not gonna put all my effort in.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm interested and I want to learn more about it, I'm curious about it, I'm gonna put as much effort as I really can into that topic.
Okay. So when you were a 9, were you interested in every single topic? You were like 100% across the board?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say we have a topic that like social studies. What do you think we can do to pique your interest? So what is it that when you are really interested, what is it that grabs you?
Maybe class discussions. I really like class discussions. It really gets me to interact.
Mhm.
Um,
So it's just more interactive, and that helps you get interested in the topic.
And then maybe the type of project or research I'm doing also helps, like being more creative with the project.
Okay. So when you get to be more creative, you're a lot more interested in the topic.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's cool. So I want to talk about along those lines. I was looking at your grades, and actually, in the 2 classes that I know you struggled with in the past that you said you feel were pointless and uninteresting, you're doing really well in. So you've got a B in Avid and a C in social studies, and that's huge. That's really good. That tells me that you are in fact doing the work. And these are the classes that in the past you've told me you felt were kind of pointless, right?
Yeah.
So how are you doing that?
Well, this report I was just like, I just have to suck it up and do what I have to do because if I'm just gonna sit there and just say to myself, this is pointless, I don't have to do anything. This isn't gonna be something I have to do later on in my life. It's not. It's gonna affect me negatively. So if I just do the work, get over it, it can affect me positively and just life in general.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is it's really about attitude.
Yes.
So in order to get up to an 8, you have to choose to have a positive attitude. So it seems like you actually have some control
Yeah,
over that. Awesome. Well, and I can see that. It's reflected. So I'm really proud of you because that's huge. That's a big difference from what I've heard before. So clearly you figured that out all on your own. And I remember you saying to me the day that you were like, I just had to get motivated and get it all done, and I made myself do it. So it's in there. You figured it out. You can make the choice whether to make it a positive outcome. And I can see that you're doing that, and I think that's awesome. Like, I'm really proud of you for that because I know that you've sort of been on the fence before. And like, that's a huge step in maturity and will make a big difference when you get to high school. So I think that's really cool. So as you're doing this, as you're telling yourself, I'm going to stay committed, I'm going to keep going, who do you think will notice these changes in you and how will they react?
My teachers,
Okay.
mostly say what I'm doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
My
Okay.
parents, my mom, she always is the one who kind of just motivates me, and she checks my grades often. So
Right.
if she sees I'm doing something wrong, then she'll tell me. And then really, she kind of tells me the outcomes of
Mm-hmm.
doing what she needs to do. And then my dad, he kind of he tells me the hard stuff. So if you don't do this, this is what's gonna happen.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
then he also tells me if you do this, this is also gonna happen in a positive way.
That's great. So he's really connecting
Yes.
what you're doing now with the future.
Yeah. So
And
he does it both ways. He doesn't just give me the good outcome. He also gives me the bad outcome.
okay, so and how are your teachers reacting, seeing you hand in your
Well, I
work?
know my English teacher, Mrs. Silva, she noticed that I was putting more effort into my classes.
Awesome.
Mrs. DeBlanc, she's also seen that because usually when the quarter really started off, I didn't really have such a good grade, but now it's going up just because I had to suck it up and do it,
Right.
even though I didn't want to.
That's awesome. So when they give you praise for putting in more effort, how does that make you feel? How do you respond?
It gives me a positive attitude.
Okay.
So then when somebody tells me I'm doing something good, I'm gonna continue to do it.
Right.
Just because I know what I'm doing is good and it can help later on.
So it's kind of like a cyclical thing. The more you choose to have a good attitude, the more you commit, the better you're seeing the results from your teachers. They're giving you praise, which makes you feel better so that you want to work harder. And so that's awesome. So, I mean, it sounds like you're really on that upward trajectory. You should be really proud of yourself because you've come a long way. So the final thing that I want to do is I'm going to write you a quick note. And what I would like you to do for me is write down kind of what you got out of today, and sort of what your continuing goal is for the rest of this quarter. Does that sound good? All right, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, really quickly, I'm just going to read this to you. Jalen, I am so impressed with how you started your quarter in social studies and Avid. Knowing these aren't your favorite, I can see by your grades that you are choosing to complete all of your work. Your teachers and parents are noticing your positive attitude. We are also proud of your work ethic and your maturity. I can tell it you are going to rock it in high school. So I'm going to let you complete that, and then we will meet in a couple weeks. and follow up and just see how you're doing and keep that positive attitude, keep making that choice. Really notice what is affecting you when you are feeling positive. Like, what things are you, oof, I can't get this to stop. Really pay attention to those moments when you are choosing to be positive, and notice what it is that's helping you do that. Sound good? All right. Thank you so much for coming in.